Alright, so it's been forever since I've done an update on these tanks, so I'll step back. And the big 120 is running good, so over the few years or so here we've lost a few fish. Maybe the phase of them now I've probably lost 10 of those silver dollars. But everything in that system's good, and it's been running really well. And I know I've hinted at getting into some freshwater systems when I started getting into the saltwater systems. So I'll give a quick preview of how I've gotten started on my RS-250. That's a Red Seas kind of medium small system, and that started off with the Nuvo 16. All three of the tanks I'm going to show right here are all three tanks I got free from a breakdown job where somebody had given up on the hobby, so that made it financially reasonable for me to get started. None of these tanks show up very good, but if you look in here, it looks like I've got a homeowner whose husband passed away, and the lady didn't know what to do with the tank, so she had a nice RVTA and a couple clowns that were mated to it. I've picked up a really nice purple tang. Problem with these cameras is the colors just never show up very good, so I'll see if I can't figure that out eventually. But he's a really nice guy here. He's a pretty rare fish, so I'm excited to get him over into the other systems. But making a couple little frag racks out of this system. So this is just like a save it before the system died for this lady. So there's a fire shrimp in there and a couple other cool little critters. So but that's a Red Sea, one of their 29-gallon system or so. So it's got a nice little auto top off, nice little Duncan in there. It's growing out pretty good. See if I can't get it to a way of nothing shows up. Of course, these just don't show up. And this is just terrible. I don't know if we. Yeah, you can't get anything off of this. I don't have to mess with settings and see if I can't fix that for the next video. I'm just going to try and make this quick. So anyway, the teaser was we'd gone up from the Nuvo, which just has a ton of coral in it. I'm just way overgrown in this thing. None of the colors show up on the camera, but I've just got so much coral in here. It's just acropora and bird's nest and just about everything, man. I've really been into the Akins thing, so I got a lot of really nice Akins. The bird's nest are doing really good. You just can't, man, I just can't get anything off of you. You can't get any pictures off any of this stuff. Just the colors don't even show up. But nice green RBTA. But and then a nice little collection of Akins here. Some really nice high dollar Akins. Some of these are really great color morphs, so they'll multiply for me real good. I have no idea how to make this look any better. It's crazy. It just looks blue on my screen, so I don't know, maybe it'll come out better on the computer. Anyway, jumping over here, so what I've been able to do is I have this wall plumbed for tanks. So this is a total of 82 gallons in this system over here, and I've spent like a year trying to plan this one out. I mean, I always say on my videos, you got to plan, and have a, it's too late. Once you set up put water in a tank, there's no change in what you're doing. So there's a big chunk of rock and I have in the middle of there that's not really going to be in there all the time. That's just my biological filtration rock. I just dropped right in the middle of my layout here, but there's a lot of really cool things going on here. We got a couple of MP10s. They're going to run on battery backup just in case we lose power. And I took the Red Seas standard two pumps that are in there, and I put this one on a reversing switcher, switching water current director. So and it's just thrown in the back compartment, and then I've drilled it for a bean animal just like I did the other tank. So and all that goes down below. So then I drilled 4 holes in the bottom of it and put a closed loop return system in it. It just loops the filtration from the bottom into 4 ports that are hidden behind the rocks. There's one there. There's one back in the inside here. Now this tank has only been running for a day, so it's still cloudy. It's still kind of getting going, but yeah. So I set up this ground closed loop in there. So and then my chiller line just returns right at the top. I added that 1 port in there as well, so I can kind of use that to just blow over any corals or anything I need. So coming into the bottom where the business end is, this is where everybody always loves to see what's going on. So I went ahead with 60-40 Fiji mud and oolite sand. So we'll see how that works out. So and that's a Radeon running Refugium. A little bit of overkill, but it'll give me a little bit more flexibility, and I can run on a battery backup, and it'll be anti-synced with the top once it gets growing really good. I'm going to go ahead and just pull all that out and thin that out once I really get kind of Refugian. So anyway, we got I got to put a shout out real quick to my buddy Jeff at Life Reef. Jeff just designs these killer systems, so this system is specifically made right for this tank, and I had him custom make it so it would fit my sump. I don't want to go into too many details of what he puts in this thing because that's his secrets, and it's incredible. I love this sump. I couldn't do it any better on my own. I would always have Jeff do it for me. So it's just this is the way. So anyway, look, shout out to Life Reef. He did a great job. It's a long waiting list. Sometimes get on his stuff, but it's well worth it. So inside here we got a HY 7000 Bubble Blaster is my main return pump. Mag 9.5 running that skimmer that he makes there. That's a great skimmer, and it's overrated for this tank, and you can't overskim. So I've got a fresh air line that runs to outside, which is teed in right there. And let's see what else. Got a couple of soft lines plumbed into this BRS reactor. I like their deluxe reactors. It gives you a lot of options. Carbon, GFO, just anything you want, man. You can make a phyto reactor out of it. You could do a bunch of really cool stuff. So it's plumbed with 2 lines from upstairs and a set of low voltage wires. I have a fish room upstairs that'll dose this with kalkwasser and auto top off water, and I'll also dose like a 3 or 4 gallon water change a week automatically on this system. So I'm waiting for some of those components to come in from Spectre Pure. They'll be here in another couple of weeks, and I'll update when I get that running. But anyway, a couple pieces of live rock that are just brought over from another system just to get the biological system running in here, and got myself a little board so I can keep track of exactly what's going on, start updates, and just how much and dosing, just to get things moving forward. But there won't be any fish in this for a couple days, and just trying to keep it really clean and simple. If it's clean now, it'll stay that way. If you just make a mess of your system, you're just never going to be able to find anything. Things are going to be leaking. You're not going to know it. It's you gotta make it clean. You gotta stay organized. So got my own little light inside there, so I can work in there, and then it's got a chiller on it. So, and it's got a high water. There's a high water mark in the back of this. That's back right there, drilled into the wall. That goes in and back into the wall and drains right out through the outside of the front of the house here. So if there was any significant problems, or if I want to do water cleaning, water change kind of thing, I can just dump the water right into that drain, and it goes straight clean out to the outside. So it makes it simple, keeps it off the floor, hopefully. So anyway, and then made myself a little media cabinet on this right side, which has the display on it for the Apex system. I'm not a huge fan of the Aqua controllers, but you gotta have some way to automate the system. So inside here, I'll be able to keep everything, under control, hopefully, without killing anything. I had the famous brownout, reboot to nothing that some people talk about on Apex has actually happened to me, and I'm really wary about these things. So anything that's life supportive is going to be on. It's going to be on a regular APC backup, and anything that's not will maybe be controlled by the Apex. I just don't fully trust it yet. So a couple of MP10s in there. That'll be kind of like a tidal surge in there. Right now they're running at like 75%. Just keep that water all moving around, and just all my mix of getting it figured out and laid out and where's it going to fit, and got a little bit of light washes out the back there I'll have to deal with. But anyway, so then in the top of this tank, I'm a big fan of Reef Brights as well. They make a really nice LED strip, so I'll flip this up and it'll blind us out. But this is their full blue, and it mounts right onto the side of that lid. So that gives me 10 hours a day of just the LED blue, and then the rest of the day runs off their internal 6 VHOs, T5s. And they're on the regular timer, all that kind of stuff. So it just clears the surface of the water here, so that's lucky. But just fits in there. So the other one I had to cut it in, the other tank over there, maybe I'll flip over there real quick and just show it that one. A lot of people wanted to figure out how to put LEDs in these things, and the Reef Brights really work out good. This one I countersunk it down into the lid. I just took a Dremel and cut it down into the lid and just chop the lid all up and fit it right down in there, and that works real good too. Both of these I run them like 8-9 hours a day at least, sometimes 10 hours a day, and I just run their T5s just a little bit for my growth cycle, a couple hours. So, and most of these corals and everything will get moved over into this system. Into the back, I made my own overflow back here. So I put the overflow box behind their overflow box. It's bean animal style, so there's a high water overflow over here. The return lines that are plumbed that come from the back of the tank, and then inside this fish guard is your main full siphon. It's at a full siphon rate now, regulated by the regular kind of shut off valve sort of thing. So anyway, sort of all it jammed in behind there. There's a whole lot of stuff going on behind the tank, but in the end it should be a pretty clean look, and should be nice to be able to sit here in the living room and enjoy this tank right next to the other tank. And I'm sure I'll stare at the saltwater one way more than the freshwater. Everybody comes over wants to see the freshwater tank and how they're all doing. but the saltwater is the challenge. So anyway, that's the end of the video.